We're just a bunch of Essendon boys coming back to old Maui, the lovely little country town that we were from. And we came here for a visit. Like that guy, right there. We're going to be talking around to people, see how everything has changed, like that. Another one. Yes! We're attracting many numbers. And that's what we want to do. We want to make this thing successful. We want to make the town successful. So let's talk to some people. What did you want to bitch about exactly?
I want to bitch about the ANZ Bank. I've been with ANZ since I was 12. I'm 55. They closed the bloody branch, but they didn't let us close our accounts because they kept closing the bank, so you couldn't go in to close your account. It's an hour and a half for me just to go to the bank and back.
Which bank is that? Where at?
At Traralgon or Warragul. Really? So it's a 45-minute drive each way. Not a happy camper.
We're just talking to people around town, talking about Maui, saying g'day, that kind of thing.
You want to know something about Maui?
Yes, please tell us.
That library is the most useless, unusable piece of thing I've ever used. You go in there, it's hot, it's the glare, you can't read in there. And, you know, we used to have one sort of sitting reading area and a couple little cubicles, and now there's like 6, right? Now, if you're a middle-aged guy, you go in there, there's one pair or teenager in each spot, and they look at you like, go away, you pervert, and there's nowhere to go. You just end up leaving.
Really?
It's stupid. It doesn't work.
Wow.
And hey, you want to be interviewed for a variety show?
Oh, yeah.
So, our first question is, what do you fear most in the world?
We're blowing up.
World blowing up? Yeah, well, man. What about you, Dee?
I don't know.
Nothing scares ya?
I do get scared, but yeah, no, I'm just scared of heights.
Yeah. So, yeah, but basically all their laws are null and void. Taxes are illegal. They're actually voluntary after World War I for 12 months. And I wouldn't be taking the mRNA vaccine.
Oh.
Go to SGA on Facebook or TRS on Facebook, and doctors and nurses are coming forward now to, say what's going on. So, we need to bond together, unite, and learn our God-given rights so we can all be free and get rid of this corruption and pedophilia. I better go now.
All righty, thank you so much.
No worries. Why isn't it letting me?
Oh, do you have any stories about Maui?
It's a great place. What else to say? Well, everybody hangs shit on it. They all reckon mockos and everyone. It's not true. I haven't got mockos on. I've been here all my life. And it's a real good little place to live. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. What is love?
It depends what is love, got to do with it, it's a second-hand emotion. Love, what's love? Love is when you not donation, love is, I can't think at the moment, by touch, that's God's creation, by touch.
It's beautiful. How about you, Dee?
Love means everything to me.
Love is everything? That's beautiful as well.
Family and friends, family comes first. Keep your feet on the ground, listen to your head, follow your heart, and, and just stand by your family. And if you really have a true friend, make sure you stand by them too.
Starting to notice now that a lot of shops are closing down, but aren't they like building estates now? So what's happening with that? What do you reckon?
We've got the stupidest government we've ever seen,
Like local council or just from the state or?
Well, yeah, local council, we don't sort of have one. It's sort of become Latrobe City, and they want to they just want to forget about Maui and move to Traralgon and Warragul. But also, the state government is literally illegitimate. Like, you have to be absolutely brain dead to think that he was voted for.
Do you see this place having a great future ahead of it?
No. I think Maui is going to always be Maui. And people who live here will know what that means. Maui will always be Maui. It's always going to be a poor town. It's always going to have low unemployment, like high unemployment, low socio-economic families. It's how they've built Maui. And they deliberately did that in the 70s. They moved the single mums up here from the Housing Commission flats and they moved them to Churchill and to Maui back in the 70s. Pardon?
At least there's a domino.
Well, is it opened yet? I've been waiting for that for 3 months too. Like, do we really want to go there?
There's fun in this town.
Yeah, exactly. And because Latrobe, we're on the edge, we're like in the Bermuda Triangle of Shire funding. Oh, that's right, we had Shire officers, they're gone. Oh yeah, let's go there. We've got no Shire officers, so you can't pay your rates, you can't do all that. And if you don't have internet banking like me, because I don't believe in it and I don't like scammers.
I just noticed that ANZ and other banks are shut down, but we're also getting a skate park here.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't know about that. I thought Maui already had one.
Oh, we did, and then it got destroyed, and then they're rebuilding it again.
Oh. That'd be good for the kids, I suppose. Yeah.
What do you think happens when you die?
Well, you go into this. I know the spirits pretty well. I haven't heard much from them every day. But anyway, yeah, they have their own spot there where they can sleep or get together with each other and all that stuff. My mother's dead and she explained it to me. And she comes to me from every now and again. And yeah, Josephine Veronica Rogan, don't you forget it. Anyway, where will I?
What do you think happens when you die?
Well, you go to this middle age stage before heaven, as if there's a heaven, but apparently there is. But anyway, yeah, it goes to a layer of, like, they're here on Earth, and they don't know what to do with themselves. They have to sleep or annoy the living. Yeah.
What are you going to do? I'm going to annoy them.
I've done it that much that, yes, they've come back and bit me on the ass, kind of bastards.
Whoa. What do you think happens when you die?
Oh, you're at rest, but your spirit still lives on.
Spirit still lives on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, man.
You know?
Do you think Maui can have a bit of a comeback?
I think we need to see an investigation of the Electoral Commission, and people need to get a lot interested in the little local elections, like your mayor and your football, whatever. All those tiny little elections, they're the ones where people need to show influence, and people need to. Look, subscribe to the ACL. The stuff that the UN is trying to do to our kids, you would not allow. They want to have a sex partner in school. If there's an odd number, the teacher picks one. You happy about that?
Really? What, in Australian schools?
This is, yeah. Andrews is totally on board with it. No, parents, obviously, most of them don't know, but this is United Nations. This is what the United Nations wants to do. And look, read Romans 1, and then, you'll understand why people say lizard people. It's it's Egyptian or something or other, but it's in the same chapter as all this perversion.
Crazy. I do remember hearing that, if kids want to transition in primary school, schools don't have to get parents' permissions. They can just let them do it in the school.
It's mutilation. You wouldn't send your kids to school if you knew what was going on there. And they're not allowed to even learn maths. A kid goes to school to learn maths and English. Yeah. And if they don't, well, there's no point sending them to school. And if they're there just to get raped, how are you, you're really happy about that? People need to stand up and say no to the United Nations. I'm pretty sure, I've heard that we had I don't remember it, but I've heard that we had a referendum about whether to join the United Nations, and it went no. It went no. but the government decided they'd go with it anyway. As if they needed to do that to know what the United Nations is doing. You know what's interesting? Tucker Carlson, he started his own show after being banished from Fox News. Now, he's got his own website now called tuckercarlson.com. Pretty easy to remember. It's really worth seeing. Yeah. One of the things he points out, he was with Trump when Trump was the president. He went to the United Nations and to the EU summit. And he said, you know, Trump asked the silly sort of questions your kid would, but it's actually a good question. And one of them was, why do we have NATO? And everyone's like, shut up! and Tucker's like really shocked. He's like, what's? And Trump says, well, wait a minute. NATO was set up to control the USSR. Yeah. The USSR is no longer there since, I don't know, I was in grade 3, which is probably 30 years ago.
They're still putting pressure on Russia, though.
Yes, but they were set up, well, it was a good question. Why do we still have NATO? Yeah. You know, and I mean, if it just becomes an empty building full of people with jobs being paid to do nothing, and then they just try and dream up things to do, you know, so that they keep their jobs. I mean, you know, would you have that as part of your business?
I don't know. It's very convoluted.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Listen, the government does not pay for anything. Nothing. You pay for it. Everything the government pays for is out of your pocket.
Lots to think about.
Communism runs out of other people's money to spend.
Interesting.
Yes, I mean, I could probably go on all day.
What was your name?
Laurie.
Laurie? Brennan.
Good to meet you, Brennan.
And what do you think of the town of Maui?
Shithole.